feel scared, and they spend most of their time by themselves, like in their room, and they listen to a lot of music. Oftentimes they write poetry, oftentimes they're very creative, and then oftentimes they just lay down in their bed and then they just let it happen, the shape shift. And also, I will tell you, I'm not sure I should say this on national Goreback TV, but I think I will, is that the shape-shifting syndrome, whether it's normal or abnormal, can really worry parents. For instance, I have several diagnoses, which people are working with, because the shapeshifter's disease, it alters the whole physiology. Talk to someone with genuine multiple personality, and they'll say, yeah, one of my personalities has this brainwave types, the other ones have these brainwave types, and this makes doctors kind of go, there's different people in one person. It must have been a good enough machine, sort of like a house, that was okay for several Voyagers to hang out in, especially if it's, near a school or somewhere cool, So here we work with shapeshifters syndrome. I hate to call it syndromes and diseases, although most people with the shapeshifter syndrome, they feel frightened, they isolate themselves, they are frightened of their effect on others. They often become like computer people, or they find something that they're good at, because oftentimes, they have an outlook on things that's different than other people. Well, it could also be called the syndrome where you flow into other stuff. Like you wake up one day, you sit down in your chair, you have your cup of coffee. That morning cup of coffee in the United States has saved more lives than anything else. It's probably saved lives over in the Middle East too. People get up, they feel a little bit better if their nervous system can just, be stimulated enough to find all the good connections and not all the dark connections that feel scary. But anyway, in spite of all that, where was I going? Oh, the shapeshifter syndrome. You may have that syndrome too. You may be sitting up one day, with your cup of coffee, and you may feel your feet, and you just flow into the floor. And as you're flowing into the floor, you may watch the floor undulate. Now, if you have a beacon in the room, you feel okay. You feel safe. You've got another box. It's been done. These are some of the greatest minds on the planet that work around here. And so I'm just one of these regular folks that has a syndrome like shapeshifter's disease. Anyway, something very scary happened to me last night, which is I started to explore my silicon machine, not my human biological machine, but my computer. I had no idea how many files there were. I was opening files. I was looking at stuff that was absolutely and completely incomprehensible. Anyway, I added some programs because I thought, I'll need Shockwave Flash. Yeah, I'll put that on. But then I thought I already had it on, so I should take that one off. And so there's all these interesting things, the history. Someone like Claude could diagnose it in 2 seconds. Well, anyway, I did the thing that everyone dreads, or at least almost dread. I didn't completely crash my hard drive forever, but I removed sound by accident. My computer is now completely silent except for the clicking sounds. It works perfectly visually. It still computes, but there is no sound output. Apparently, I hit a key or something, deleted something. Anyway, I explored up until like 1 in the morning, midnight, trying to figure out if I could get the sound back. Because most computers, they have sound, yeah. But this one was, and it was a shock. And when I woke up this morning, I was still in shock because I was so identified with my silicon friend, my computer, that I thought it had gone deaf. I thought, oh no, now I'm going to be like a deaf person when I'm in this particular box working these worlds through these windows or whatever those are. Anyway, I think the solution is that I will find the original owner and see if I can find the original CD-ROM disc which put sound on the thing initially. There's something I have on my computer that's called a wizard, a hardware wizard. He keeps finding all kinds of odd stuff. So I will need an expert to come over to visit my computer, which is a rainbow computer. If you saw it, it's got lights, it's got green. It's very decorative down at the bottom near the processor. Green light, and a red light, and a yellow light, and they're on. And when it's on, it's colorful. Just like life. Anyway, so it kind of threw me into the Bardos, knowing that my virtual pixel plants in my garden in fairyland will wilt. But there'll be nice people that will go and water them. And I lost my monster. This is how it all started, is that I lost my monster. I had a Moshi monster. So you guys out there that work at mindcandy.com in the United Kingdom, I was in love with that application. And I didn't need to interact with others. It was different than like Diablo, World of Warcraft. I could visit my monster, and it felt like that monster was sentient. We worked puzzles, we went to the grocery store, we planted flowers. Oh, it was the greatest. It was the greatest little application I'd ever put on a computer. And a couple of people would put, you know, my friends' things. Anyway, that application has been removed from my Facebook's page. And I wrote a note to Mind Candy to cancel me. Now, I shouldn't have done that. That was kind of a sudden move. But anyway, I'm going to get in conversation with Mind Candy, and I'm going to tell them, I'm going to send them another letter saying that I was literally in love with my little monster. It had a great voice, too. Now, I also wanted to close this newscast saying there's a lot of turmoil in the world. There's a lot of people that aren't feeling good. Most of the bad stuff is not really all that bad. It's just it does not feel good. And that's from the human perspective. And also, if you want to get shapeshifter's disease, please don't listen to what I'm just going to say next, which is the first way you get it is in childhood, and you keep asking that what if. Or I wonder what it feels like, which feels like is very human dimension. But you might have a kid at home, you know, like you're maybe a parent, and, you know, before your kid gets diagnosed with, you know, never mind, I did have some epilepsy, but, you know, schizoaffective disorder, you know, out the window, manic depression. Before you let your kid get, like, totally diagnosed, they might just be like, you know, they might have some special talents in terms of shapes. Get them to an art school right away. Make sure that everything's cool. But Moshi monsters. If I had been an autistic child, which I was partially, that would have been my best friend. So you guys at Mind Candy, you're doing something right, and then something went wrong. So I lost Puppet. She was a puppet, so that was my monster. Anyway, oh gosh, we're to 12:19, and I'm just babbling on and on. Oh, we got some folks here. Hey, hi Bardo Man, hi Pip. Who else? Hi Happy Mist. I saw you last night online. I love to see your names. I like the old version better than the new version, because it's better for saving the log. But go ahead. Jules here. This is an extra special treat because she's made the garden sparkle. What is sparkling in the garden is all Jewel. What isn't sparkling in the garden right now has to do with the climate. Global warming. Yes? Oh, hi, Passworld. Sean Barone. Hey, Konuzan. Okay, so it's the usual gang. Hey, we're just turning into like the Bardo